Sweet and sour chicken, turkey, spaghetti. Whoa, meatloaf. We're gonna put the Cowboy Remake on this. Looky there, meatloaf. I do love me some meatloaf. And Banquet, they've been making them things a long time, so let me get it for you. I microwaved it. I will tell you, like Shan said, these people do a great job of marketing their picture on the front compared.
It's a little different.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have survived on this kind of stuff so many years ago when they would put frozen dinners on sale at the little old grocery store back there in Hollis. I would get usually like 6 boxes for $5. And I'm sure not running these folks down because they have probably fed a lot of people they have. So I am proud of them. Hey, we're finna cowboy this meal up because it needs some help, it does. Now, before we get started, go ahead and give us a like. It sure helps our channel out. So let's get started. 1 yellow bell pepper, 1 orange bell pepper, and a purple onion. And I chopped them all up, put them aside over there. And I have 2 pounds of 80/20 ground chuck. Well, for those of y'all that were gonna come see me at Harker Heights, I am so sorry that I had to cancel. Still got a little of this hoarseness going on. It sort of kicked my butt, it did, traveling this last couple of weeks. But I am going to get better due to all y'all's well wishes and your prayers. I'm fixing to put me 3 cackleberries in this 2 pounds of ground beef right here. Run right out there to the hen house, hold your hand out, follow her around. Sometimes you might have to even give her one of these. And she'll give it to you, she will. So 3 eggs, Lou, is that all right? I'm so glad you're helping today. And look, he woke up and he wants to help now. But not Duker. Duker's still passed out. So, it went 1 shell. Let me glove up here before we get any further along. Let me get this egg all incorporated in this meat. If you're doing this in the house, go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Me, I'm gonna do it on the indirect side of the Hasty Bake. Well, I'll meet y'all over here at the Hasty Bake. Well, we ain't just gonna throw them peppers and them onions in that meat and then mix it all together and cook it. No, we're gonna use that fancy term. We're going to saute in butter. I've been working cattle all day, cooking for Shan every meal that I could. When we first got together, was living down north of Wichita Falls. And I come home one day and I smelled food. And I'm thinking, somebody has brought food to the house. Walked in there, she had the table set. There was this meatloaf laying on the table. Sometimes your butt kick in gear for your mouth operate well. And she said, I hope you like meatloaf. I said, my mama made the best meatloaf I ever seen in my life. Wrong answer, folks. Wrong answer. But she had fooled me for so long. This woman can cook. This is probably one of my most favorite meatloafs I've ever eaten in my life.
And we have not had it in a while.
Well, we haven't. And folks, I know you love a meatloaf, but I need to know of you, how many of you cook it and then you let it cool and the next day, meatloaf sandwich. That is probably my favorite. Woo. We'll get these softened up. We're gonna add some garlic to it here in just a minute, but don't do it right at the first. We don't wanna burn that garlic. Got tender, they did, and right there at the last, I done throwed in that garlic. I did, mixed it up really well. Let me move this out of the way. We're after more flavor, we are. So, in goes some ketchup, and I lowered the heat down. If you're doing this in the house, get her on about medium low for right now. Then, the W sauce. And I'd say that was the correct amount. To give it a little kick, and a little zing, that's why Shan called it zesty, some prepared horseradish. About so. Now you use your favorite hot sauce, whatever you want to use. I'd say about that much right there. So we're gonna let this just blend together a minute. It won't take but about a minute, maybe 2 at the most. I'll meet y'all back over there at the table. Yeah, I'll let it cool about 15 minutes because it'll burn your fingers if you start this too early. We're gonna add some cow juice. We're gonna have a little pinch of red pepper flakes in there as well. Now you could use cayenne pepper if you like, but hey, this is what's on hand today. And we're gonna give it a little seasoning, which is our original low sodium blend, because it didn't have no seasoning to begin with. So let's get that stirred up. And then it's time to add the breadcrumbs. Go with about half for right now. Go to mixing this. We want this to be really sort of like a thick paste. This is Shan's recipe, so I'm gonna ask her, is that enough breadcrumbs, Shan?
Let me do the test again. So you want it like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. You just don't want it too soupy. Yep, that looks good.
So we got that like we want it. Let's bring the ground beef over here, which has got the egg in it. And let's just dump this in there. Formed them into 2 pretty little loaves I did. Got them sitting on a wire rack over a cast iron skillet because I'm doing them outside on the hasty bake. If you're doing them in the house, get you a long, flat baking sheet pan, turn you a casserole dish upside down, grease it really well, put your 2 loaves on top of it. That way as the cooks, the grease will run off of it, and it is tipped from Shan, not from me. She created that deal and it works really well, it did. But we're not gonna be just putting ketchup over them or anything like that. We got this little honey hot sauce that goes on there, and ooh, it is oh so good. So we're gonna start off with some more ketchup. And I'd say,
shake and shake the ketchup bottle. Some comes out and then a lot'll.
Whoa, there we go. So to that, some honey. About that much. Now, just a little more horseradish. And we're just going to spoon this right over the top. We are. Give it a little spreading out. Make sure that everybody gets an equal amount. Then we're going to take it right over there to the fire. You know how to get the best meatloaf cooking you're ever going to have? Or any piece of meat that you throw on that grill that you need to check the temp with? That is what? The best meat probe that you can have. A thermometer that's going to give you an instant quick reading, just like that. And today, that is the reason that I'm using the Chef's Temp Final Touch X10 to get all that done for me accurately and fast. This Chef's Temp is the world's fastest at giving you a reading, 1 second. But it is also waterproof. But when you stick it in there too, you can rotate that dial anywhere you want. It's going to give you a reading, but I love the really large display that it has. And they just come out with this, the American flag design, and I think it goes really well with our set and our design. What do y'all think? You know, I don't only use this Chef Temp probe just to check a piece of meat that's on the grill or coming out of the oven. Also, when you're proofing yeast, you don't want that water too hot, we check it that away. Baked potatoes, we use it to check that. The doneness of bread when it is at its best, we use this. But not just on this, their entire line of products. So head on over there to their website because I really like this product, the ProTemp 2 Plus, for longer cooks. Hey, holidays are coming on, they are, and you can put this probe in there, program it on your phone. You can cook that turkey as long as you need to on that smoker or that Christmas ham. So be sure you take advantage of that discount code that they're offering. We want to thank the folks at Chef's Temp for sponsoring this video. Great product, great people. Now remember, if you're doing this in the house, you have already preheated your oven. Me, I'm doing it out here on a hasty bake. This thing is very versatile to cook on, big enough that you can cook direct or indirect, but you can lower and raise your heat so easy with this thing. So we got this on the indirect end of cooking. That means there's no fire directly under here. Now we're going to try to maintain that temperature pretty hot pretty close to about 375 to 400 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and shut this lid. We're going to have to maneuver just a little. That is just a fit. It is. I got the vents open on this end, I do. Now, I'm not putting anything in there for smoke flavoring. Now, folks, I will tell you, there is a rival meatloaf that rivals this one that Shan made, and it is a smoked meatloaf. If you want to do that version, you go back and watch that video. We'll let this warm back up, try to hit that target temperature of 375 to 400. In the house, it's going to take you about 50 minutes. Out here, we're going to say 45 minutes to an hour. We're going to be checking it here after a while. We're going to use our chef's temp to do that. We're going to want that target temperature to be at 160 degrees when it's done. But just where did the TV dinner come from? Let's take a look back. Now, back in 1953, the Swanson Company found themselves sitting on 260 tons of leftover Thanksgiving turkey. That's right, tons. They had so much turkey they had to store it in 10 refrigerated train cars that circled the country just to keep it from spoiling. Then along comes a salesman named Jerry Thomas, who had the spark of cowboy ingenuity. He remembered how the airlines packed up them meals in compartment trays for passengers and thought, why not do that for folks at home? So he designed an aluminum tray with 3 neat little sections, one for turkey, one for mashed taters and gravy, and one for peas. Sealed it up, froze it, and called it dinner. When Swanson rolled them out in '54, they cost 98 cents, and the box even looked like a little television set, complete with little dials printed on the front. They figured if America was gathering around the TV every night, why not make supper that fit the picture? Swanson sold 10 million of those dinners in the first year. Housewives love the convenience, kids love the novelty, and before long, every freezer in America had a stack of them. By the mid-60s, there was over 1,000 kinds, from Salisbury steak to fried chicken and spaghetti with meat sauce. But what really made it take off was timing. The television boom was in full swing. Families were buying TVs faster than they were buying refrigerators, and the living room became the new dinner table. And for a lot of the busy mothers back then, it was a small bit of freedom. Supper could be done without hours of work. This was not only convenient, it was economical at the time. But hey, I have eaten my fair share of them frozen dinners. I have. Come in, I was in a hurry, throw one in the microwave and just get after it. But folks, I still think we need to spend more time sitting at that kitchen table, sitting down to a homemade meal, bringing everybody together. Take your hats off, let's bless it, and then let's thank God for all the things that we've done and eat it up before it's gone. So let's talk about them mashed taters, you want to? Now, when I'm talking about mashed potatoes, I think the thing that makes the best mashed potatoes is Yukon Gold. But you can even mix a russet or two in there if you need to. But them Yukon Golds, they just really, to me, get more creamy. They're a little softer texture. So that is my choice for today. Now make sure when you're prepping them potatoes, and I've done them with peeling on and peeling off, that's up to y'all, but cut them into even pieces when you put them in there to boil. That way everything's getting done at the same time. Something ain't tough or something's already mush. Make sure they're the same size. We got them taters done, they are fork tender. Just take them over, drain them, and what? Put it back over there on low heat on the burn. Because we got to get all that steam off them potatoes. We got to get rid of that because that's going to give us a really good fluffy mashed potato that's going to whip up so good. Make sure you steam that water off of it. And also, I really like to add some whipped cream cheese in there. When you get all this mixed up in there, it's just got that little bit of cheesy flavor, but it gives it, I think, just a whipped effect like thinks, ooh, this is dessert right here. Next up is the corn. Now, when I was examining the little banquet, the little dab of corn they had hemmed up over in the corner, looked like they just opened up a can of corn and just poured a little bit in there and said, that'll do. No, won't do here, it won't. We're gonna make Mama's creamy corn, we are. And folks, it's really easy, but I like to start out with frozen corn. Just dump that right over in your little saucepan that you're gonna use. Add you some cream, add you some butter, let all that melt and get incorporated well. Then we're going to sweeten it with some sugar and a little flour at the end to thicken it. It has graced our Thanksgiving table and Christmas table every year that I can remember. Last but not least, dessert. What we're fixing here is the simplest thing ever for dessert, but also It has been a ranch favorite for me for Cowboys for as long as I've been cooking on ranches. My mother used to make them when we was little bitty, and I thought it's the grandest thing ever. Get you a Honey Crisp, one of them Gala, maybe even a Fuji, but just make sure you get them peeled. A little sauce pot full of water. In go the apples. A little brown sugar. We're going to call that pretty close. A little white sugar. We're going to call that pretty close. A shake or two of cinnamon. So we're going to give it a shaking. If you want to, you can even add a little dash of nutmeg in there with them. But it's a perfect fall dish to go for a dessert. So I'm going to stick them over there on the fire. Let them come to a good rolling boil. Then I'm going to turn it down just a little to where they're just simmering. Add me some butter in there and just let them apples cook till they get tender. Probably going to take 10 minutes, maybe 12, something like that. But it's almost banquet time. Now, I still ain't down on these folks because I've eat a lot of them. But I know if I'm coming to the table right now, I'm going to pick this one right here. And I think I'm going to start with Shan's meatloaf right off the bat. This bite right there.
I mean, that's a good looking plate.
I'm going to go ahead right now. This is the complete meal. The Sunday dinner, the evernight dinner. Sure, these folks brought us to a new age and a new era. And I tip my hat to them too because I still eat a lot of frozen dinners. But if I got the choice, every time I'm saddling up to the table, I am going to get this one right here. Whoop. Shan's zesty meatloaf, homemade mashed potatoes, my mother's cream corn, and stewed apples. Hey, we're so glad y'all had time to join us today because we had a good time we did. We even reminisced over some TV dinner. Yes. But I'd like to say a big thank you to Chef's Temp for sponsoring this video. Be sure and take advantage of that discount code. Check out all their stuff they got on their website because Christmas is coming up and they make great stocking stuffers. But it is with pride and great honor that I tip my hat to all our servicemen and women and all the veterans that have kept that old flag a-flying. We commend you all, we do. Rest of you, I need to tell you something. Hey, may be some hard times down the road, but they're always going to be good times. So remember, just keep stepping out there. You're going to step in the right place. But if you see a green pile laying there and you think it's fresh, dodge that one. So get on in here close. I'm going to give you a great big old hug. God bless you, each and every one. And I'll see you down I Done Fancied Up and Cowboyed Up the TV dinner trail.